Hey guys, Cindy over at paper.old.new. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with me today. I know we've had some blips here recently. I was away and I didn't quite get enough stuff ready to go before I left, so there was a gap. And I'm trying to get myself back on track. But today I thought that we would work on ephemera for the calendar book. And because it's trees, I've been looking at these little bird images that I have. And I'm thinking of making some cards and stuff out of them. So I just wanted to walk you through this process. This one's going to go here. As you can see, I backed it, and then we've done some embellishing to it. So we're going to work on doing that. And see where that gets us. Now, on some of these, I have these big pockets. Remember the ones where we did pockets at the top of the page, or, you know, whatever. You had an open like this. There we go. Found one. Okay, so one of the other things I'm doing is I'm taking, this was from here. These planner pages. Okay, so we might do some of those. And this one's not done, but when it is done, it's going to go in this pocket here. So I'm trying to like fill it up, and I wanted to scatter some of these bird images through. So we're going to look at places where we can put some ephemera using those. The only other thing I've been doing is I've been pulling out of my, this is a very eclectic journal, but the theme is these trees. It was a trees of life, or, well, yeah, tree of life. So we have all these trees, which is, and there's birds usually on the trees. So that's where the bird ideas came from. So we have this guy, and he's not quite done actually. So let's clip these corners, and then I'll make sure that I don't need to re-ink. That one's tough because there was a sticker on there. So let's cut that. The sticker was that plasticky, vinyl-y stuff that, this one. So I'll re-ink the corners where I clipped off and just kind of make sure that they still look correct. And then I have this little tuck here. Oh, I have this little tuck here. And we stick him in there just like that. Okay, so that's another one. Now with this one, the thing I did want to do was I also want to clip these corners. We're going to go bigger since this is a bigger card. Okay, and then I cut these edges, so I'm going to, that's not glued down all the way. Let's fix that. Okay, so I'm going to ink around here just to cover up that white cut edge and to kind of fit it in with everything. I don't know how well, these are kind of plasticized, coated calendar divider pages, so they're not just paper. So I don't know how well it'll stay on the surface, but I just want to kind of cover that white edge, and then I can go on the coffee dye paper that I put on the top and bottom. And I figured, you know, it would be good for writing space if you wanted to make a little note on here or whatever. That poor pad is falling apart. That's what I keep brushing off of here, is like pieces from the pad. Okay, and then this would go in this pocket. Let's see how far it sticks out, and then we'll figure out whether or not we want to put a topper of some sort on it. Okay. It sticks out pretty good up there, so we'll see. I'm going to leave it for now. this was where we were. Now, if I'm filling in ephemera for stuff like this, I really just wanted to make the ephemera that I already like wanted, which was the bird stuff and the calendar stuff. But I did want to show you, like, if I'm filling in and I need something to go, I might take something from my pre-made ephemera, this little card. I don't know that I would keep it red on the back. I might take this. I need to stop putting things down where I can't find them. Okay, and then we can cover it on the back. Already starting with the bubbles. Which is funny because that had to be glue that was trapped in the tip because there's no glue down there. That's why it's blowing air. So, as I was saying, I'm pulling from the pre-made cards and stuff because with the eclectic nature of this journal, I feel like I can get away with using some of this kind of crazy all over the place. Okay, and then we'll just cut it out and it can go in that pocket. And then we have something in one of the pockets. Now, these little pockets that I'm filling in, there's also side pockets here. I don't know if you can see those. See these? So those I'll have to come back and fill something in there. But these pockets here is a place where you could put ATC cards or you know, like covered playing cards and stuff like that. Or you could put in tiny tags or, you know, whatever. One of the things I do want to do as we're flipping through, I do want to flip through to some extent because I want to be able to look at it and say, okay, this card needs to be cut down or this image needs to be cut down to fit in this pocket. So to some extent we'll be flipping through, but we won't be hitting every pocket. So like this stopover was just kind of a quick, this is what I'm doing, and I'm pulling, like I said, pre-made ephemera because I feel like this book, these calendar books, this one has a theme, but in the same token, it's still kind of, the way I did it, it's still kind of eclectic. So I can put that there, or I can put it over here to put a butterfly on this side, like that. And then you can put some other tags and stuff in there. And then more than likely, these will be folded pieces of paper of some sort that I'll stick down in there. But anyway, okay, so I put a little fancy paper clip up there. So we're moving right along in here. But the way I wanted to do this, eclectic. So I took, this is from a storybook. And I thought that since this is all drawn and kind of cartoony, this image from a storybook went really well, and then I just dressed it up. So, you know, that's what I'm talking about when I say eclectic. And then these are for writing. I think I stuck something in there. Yeah, this is one of the cards. Trying to get to where, I don't remember where I put pockets is the problem. Here's a pocket. That is not a pocket. There's a pocket. We missed this one. Okay, in this pocket, though, I might want to do something other than the birds because I put a bird there. See, going back and finding all these pockets is going to be the hard part because I'll go back and look. I guess I need to make sure that I go back and look to make sure everything has something in it before I totally finish this. Okay, so here we have one. And I have these larger bird images. And actually, he would be really good because he's very similar to this. And what I've been doing is, I just want to show you that I have these small ones. If I pick one, see, sometimes they match. I don't necessarily want to put two of the same one in the book. So I'll go through here and see if I have a small one of that, which I do. And I'm going to set it off to the side so that I don't use it. And then this one, we're going to need a backing sheet. I think we'll use this gray. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of decorate them up some. So let's get this glued down on here. Figure out the right size because we need to make sure that it's the right height and everything to go in there. And then we can decorate it. So how's everybody doing? I told you guys I went to Florida. We had kind of an interesting trip. There was all kinds of stuff going on. I have discovered that I think if I plan trips from now on, my youngest daughter is not an amusement park fanatic, which is funny because we keep going to Florida, and Florida's, I mean, the amusement park capital of everywhere. So, but I think she's more like if we were going to do it, it would be go see animals and try restaurants, like a food tour kind of an idea. I think she would prefer something like that than going somewhere and visiting amusement parks. She also has developed this thing for where we live is relatively rural, and we've gone to a few places where she's gotten exposed to very large shopping malls and stuff. Because where we are, those kind of die off because of online shopping and other. It affects us more than it does out in like cities and stuff where there's a lot of people that still shop. Oops. So she's been here recently exposed to quite a few very large shopping malls and she had never seen before. And she likes going to the malls. She doesn't necessarily like to shop, but she likes going to the malls. She says it's because they have cool places to eat. So, and again, it goes to her, this idea she has of wanting to try food. Right now, she's still in that phase of she wants to try food, but she tries things that are still somewhat in her comfort zone. So she tries things that are slightly different than the norm, but still something she knows she likes. Like pizza or a burger with something different on it. Do you know what I mean? So that's her kind of stepping out of her comfort zone. She's kind of doing it slowly, testing the water, so to speak. I told her there was nothing wrong with that. I said, if it gives you a vehicle to try new foods, then, that's great. But so yeah, any more trips we plan will probably be planned more around restaurants and places to eat like that than it will be around. I just remember when I was a kid, I loved to explore. I love to go new places and do new things and wander around and, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like, I don't know, kids these days don't. They'd rather explore it online. It's not the same. I'm wanting to get everything out of my way. I've gotten myself to the point where I'm in the same boat that I was in downstairs somewhat. Okay, we're going to trim a little bit off of this because it's too tall. It's not taller than the book, but we all know how this goes, right? You make it and it's taller than... you lose real estate in a pocket because you glued, right? So it's taller than the glue edges. So we're going to have to do some trimming. I'm going to trim about 1/4 inch off of each end. We'll see if we can get the height right, and then once we get the height right, we'll worry about the width. Because we want all this stuff to be right before we go decorating, right? Make sure it's straight along the bottom. And then we take our 1/4 inch off. Wow. I don't think it's straight along the top. Okay. All right. So I just want to share a few ideas with you on the decorating thing, and then I will, do most of it on my own and then bring it back to you in the reveal. But all right, I think that's good for the height. Let's see. Oh, it's actually kind of perfect for the width too. I don't know that I would take that off because it hangs out with some of the other pieces of the book and it doesn't go over the cover, I don't think. So I might leave that like that. And it might get a tab or something. I'm leery of putting a tab on it only because I don't want it to, it will stick out of the book if I put a tab on it, and I don't want it to get bent and all that. So we're just going to get that all taken care of. Now, my thought on this is I'm going to ink this side with the vintage photo. The back of this is a very flat, smooth gray-ish color. So I want to kind of muss that up a little bit. So we're going to I think maybe 2 colors of ink back there. Okay. Now, these were printed on a laser printer, and I've noticed that this solvent glue, if you get it on here and then you rub it off, it makes these kind of worn edges or worn spots, which are okay. I mean, they go kind of along with the theme of... But it basically is taking the toner off the paper. So, but I mean, if I was going to sand the edges or something like that to make it look more worn, it would look like that anyway. So, get that out. And we're going to use this mahogany on the back, and then I'll go over it kind of with... This is that smooth cardstock, and I will say that I think that it has a decent blending surface, kind of. I don't know. Okay, and I'm doing that to tie in with the pinks of the flowers on the other side. I think that works good. And then we'll put a little bit of the vintage photo over it to kind of knock it back, make it look. Okay, and that's the back of our card, all ready to be written and journaled upon. Now, on the front, what we want to do. Okay, I have some labels here, and what I basically have been doing is looking for labels that I like on the card, and maybe putting some postage looking kind of decoration with them. Maybe one of these. Something like that. And I think all of the ones that say something about a... This one has a number on it. I might do that. Okay, so let's put all of this stuff on. Some of the corners need clipping. So we'll put all this stuff on, and then we'll do our stamping. And basically, I'm just putting some labels and some postage, just type stamped things on here to make it seem a little more like some sort of card that came in the mail, or, you know, like that. And this is basically what I did for this, for that one that I showed you at the start. Ooh. And then after this, I have another idea that I want to try, and I haven't done it, so we'll be experimenting together. And then we're also going to do one of the cards from the calendar. These always end up being so... I'm almost tempted to just cut them flat, because the rounded corner, it's too small to go in my clip, this. It's even smaller than that because the label is so small, and it just cuts it. Oh, I picked up my pen. Not pen, pin. My mom used to get after me all the time when I was a kid. Oh, wrong one. Guys, we did the wrong one first. The one on the bottom has to get glued down first. I think I'm going to do this with the mahogany so that it's slightly pinkish around the edges. This is just copy paper, so it's actually really hard to ink because it's not stiff enough to... It's like the little brush just pushes it down and doesn't actually leave any ink on it. Okay. My glue bottle just keeps oozing away. Okay, so we're going to put this over here, like that. And hopefully this glue is still wet enough to stick. I think it is, but... It's oozing out around my labels. Okay, now we're going to look at our stamps, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to do a big one. I don't know where that one went. Excuse me. Let's take this one off of here, and I think what we'll do... like that. See? And then the other one I was thinking about was this one. And sometimes, and I try to swap the colors out so that it's not all the same. That. Okay, so we have that down at the bottom. And then up at the top up here, I'll do something also, because I don't want to leave it. And I'll probably do it in the... I don't want them to get lost. As you can see, I'm already missing some, so maybe no, I think that would be too big. What if we just did this guy? Okay, and there we go. All right, and then this is all dressed up and ready to go in my pocket. So we'll take this and we'll put it in the book. And we've put another one of our bird images in, which I'm liking to tie into the trees. They're a little more detailed, obviously, than the previous ones that we did, but I think that they're a lot of fun. We're going to need a lot of stuff to go in here. Okay, so I've got a belly band, a pocket, and another pocket, but we're not going to do that right now. Glued that shut. Okay, so my thought was, okay, so if I take this is a piece of the note paper that you saw that's coffee dyed, right? And I thought it might be fun to fold it and then glue it to this so that this is the outside of the fold. I want to make sure that I have it inside the picture. And I don't want to cut off the bird's head, so I want it to go higher here. I don't mind trimming off some of the book. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to glue the bird to the outside of this piece of paper. This will be a really fun fold-out journaling piece that we can stick somewhere. I just have to figure out where. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here. Again, I want to make sure I have it up enough to get the head on like that. And then we'll go over it with this to make sure it's all flat. Okay, and then we're going to cut it out. And hopefully we won't cut any of our paper folds. That would be kind of a disastrous outcome for what we're trying to do. Okay, down here I don't have to worry about it as much because I think these are all ends. So there's no folds down here. And I don't think there's folds on this side, but I'm not positive. And of course at the top is like the main fold, so we don't want to. All right, now if I unfold it, do I have any? I do still have some lingering edges here, so let's clean this up some. Okay, and then you can, I don't know what it would do, honestly, if I, because that's the middle of the paper, so if I clip it, it's going to stick a hole in the middle. So I can't clip all the corners. Like I said, this is new and experimental, and I'm doing it for the first time with you guys, so bear with me. Apparently I didn't get that entire edge. Okay. Now, see, and then we have this piece of paper with a decorative corner, and when you fold it up to stick it in the book, oops, folds this way and then this way. I think that's fun. And then we can decorate it like we did the others. Give me a second. Get my trash out of my way. You can decorate it like we did the others with some extra stuff. So I'm going to ink it all around so that it looks a little more dingy like the paper that it's glued to. Okay, so we have that. Now, if you wanted to, you could go in and you could ink all your lines I'm not going to do that on this one, but you understand what I mean. You could ink all your little line spots and make them, let's see, let's use this. Okay, nice, I like it. All right, and then we can put a label on him too, and he will be all set. Do you get the feeling I'm trying to clear out my label box? I'm not actually, but I feel like it's just, it fits, if that makes sense. Let's do that, and then we're going to cut these angular. Just because, like I said, I think even this medium-sized label is too small to clip with my... And then I can oh, for Pete's sakes. You know me, guys, I'm always like commenting on the fact that I lose half my glue to my rag. Yeah, still happening. I have this one that says arrived, and I would love to use it on here, but it's too big. I would like a smaller version of that. That would be awesome. And I don't have one. So, yeah. Let's see, this one goes over here. I don't think I have a... If I use this little guy here. And there we go. And we have a little piece to go in a pocket. I don't know, like I said, I don't know where I'm putting this. Okay, I have a thought. So this is, I don't know if you guys remember, I was going to be putting this in here, like this. And I picked out a, where did I put it? Uh-oh, I lost it. Okay, I found it. So this was going to be this, to go on the pocket in here. But what I want to do is clip the corners on this, ink it pretty good. This was something we kind of started in a previous video and I never finished. I was going to finish it before I got back with you, and I started working on it, and then I ran out of time because we had to leave, and I haven't had time to work on it since I got back, so anyway. Our trip was really fun. We went to several zoos. I was in Tampa Bay, and we went to the Tampa Bay Zoo, and we also went to 2 aquariums, so she really liked that part of the trip. Okay, I don't usually do this with the sponge. Okay, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna glue on here so that I don't accidentally glue the envelope shut. But I'm gonna leave a little bit of a border because this is smaller than the envelope, so it's gonna get it's going to have an edge around it. Okay. I just want to make sure I have it pretty centered. And then I'm covering those top envelope bits. Now, as far as decorating this goes, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I also have these stamps. So, I don't know. All right, now, I don't know if I was going to put it in the envelope. No, I was not. All right. Now, this part of the envelope, this is going to be in here, so it won't really matter too much. Yeah, that'll be the only part you see. So let's ink this part. I'm holding it with a bend in it on purpose so that hopefully it inks some wrinkles, like a wrinkly pattern in there. Oh, I'm getting so much sponge everywhere, it's not even funny. Okay, and there's ribbon from the inside decoration. I did work on this some since the last time you guys saw it, so it is a little bit different. But anyway, all right, now we're going to put glue all over this, and I'm going to try and get it in that pocket where I want it. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I feel like I have some bright, and I have some dull, and I have some kind of neutrals, and like I said, this is kind of all over the place. But I am looking for things that go with the nature trees theme. So butterflies, birds, leaves, you know, all that kind of stuff, which is why you have the leaves here. Flowers. It's kind of a, you know, mostly nature type stuff. So hopefully that comes across in all of the crazy. Just don't get me wrong. I get it. There's a lot of crazy. All right, I'm gonna... Okay, we got it. Now, the question is whether or not I want to close that pocket. Because normally when I stick something like this in one of them, I close the pocket. So I'm probably going to do that. And all I do is take this and open it up and run some glue down in there and then along this edge, just to make sure this edge gets glued really good. And then I glue it down. And that will, that will keep it shut. It doesn't have to be, as long as you can't open it, we're good. And there we have it. Now, what I was going to do with this, after all of that, we're going to take this down and see I decorated this up some and I covered up that, remember this was the envelope and you had that strip where this coffee dyed stuff got glued down, this coffee dyed cardstock got glued down to the envelope, and there was that light white or light cream colored and then this tea colored, and it was just a stark line. So basically what I did was I covered, and this was one of those ones where I had to cut a piece to go in the pocket so you couldn't see the edge. So I put the paper on there and then I covered the uneven spot with a ribbon and decorated with the flower. And we're going to stick this piece of journaling paper up in this up tuck, and then you'll cover it up with that. And then we'll have something to go in that pocket. Okay, and that gets that done. Now, for the calendar cards, we stuck that one there. Let's find our next, ooh, maybe not right there. Let's find my next pocket. This one's got a bird card in it. And none of these have been opened from the top, right? I didn't leave as many of these as pockets as I thought, which isn't so bad. Sometimes filling extra pockets is hard. See, that's not a pocket. This we just closed off, so that's not a pocket. I think this is a pocket. Is it? Yeah, this is a pocket. Okay, so maybe we'll use one of our one of our pages in here. Now we have this one. The other side of this is stars and stuff, and we have this one. So I think we'll take this one out. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to trim this down to fit in this pocket. And we have to figure out what our boundaries are. So if I stick this partially, oh, it goes this way. If I stick this partially in here, I need to take off quite a bit. So let's start with 1/2 inch top and bottom, or thereabouts. Actually, what we'll start with is clearing these edges that we don't want. So we know we don't want the spiral edge. And we're going to come into about right there. So we're going to cut this spiral edge off. If I can stop moving my card, that'd be great. Okay, so we're going to cut this spiral edge off. Okay, so we're going to take that strip off of there. And then I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to take the side with the... pull in just a little bit further, and I'm going to take the tab edge off. It's too wide for the book anyway, so I was going to have to narrow it. So I want to clear the edges. And now we're going to take off about 1/2 inch at the top and 1/2 inch at the bottom. I think 1 inch should give us enough wiggle room. Okay. Make sure that's straight. You know me, guys, I'm always complaining about straight. Okay. So we have all of that. Now let's see how it fits in our pocket. Okay, we are still too wide this way. And we are wide by about 1/2 inch. So we'll take 1/4 inch off each side and we should be good. And this is going to be our card for this pocket. Now, what I did, it's not like, I say that like it's rocket science. It's not rocket science. Of course, lining up this card is, okay, all right, so we do that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over, and I have a couple of books like this from planners, and basically what I've been doing is finding some of these big ones. Now these ones are see-through because they're on, yeah, these ones would be good except for the fact that they're not white backings. They're like tape. They feel like tape. Something like this would be good. I'm not necessarily going to get it out of this book, but I'm looking to see if this got wet. So, yeah, I don't think anything out of this book. So let's switch books. Let's try something else. This is where I got the other one. And it doesn't have to have a saying on it. I mean, it can just be flowers. Something like that. I like these ones, though. Let it snow. I feel like that's not exactly the sentiment we're going for. especially since, all right, let's get paper to go on here. Basically all I did was let's tear it like that. I don't necessarily want that yellow streak on there. Okay, so we'll put it on there like that. Oh, like that. That's more blue. And then we don't have to worry about the yellow streak. But I don't want it to come down too low. And then we cover this middle part up with our sticker. Okay, and then what I think I'll do is I'll ink this one along its edge in the mahogany just to tie the oops. Well, that was interesting. I don't know. Let's just do it on here and then I'll suffer the consequences, I guess, of the mess. I'll glue it on the silicone and that way we won't have to worry about the mess too much. See, I love this. It was oozing out like it couldn't stop earlier and now it's all clogged up. I love glue. It's a love-hate relationship. All right. I'm hoping I went far enough over. This doesn't look wide enough. I did ink further over, so maybe I'll just... All right, now we're going to put this on the silicone mat, and that way when I glue it down, it won't be too... Uh-oh, I got more. Got more ink on it right there. I mean, it's not horrible, but I wasn't looking to do that. Okay. And then we'll put another piece down here. And what I can do is mark my... I can hope that that marks it pretty well, and then we'll just glue... Oh, let's ink it. I just want that little hint of, like, pink, red color. I'm not necessarily looking for it to be real dark. Okay. And I want to make sure that this torn edge gets glued down really well. So, just like that. I'm wondering if since I marked it this time, I should just go like this. Perfect. Okay. Okay, kind of clean this edge up with my glue, and now let's cut all the pieces. Oh goodness. Okay, so I'm going to finish this one up, and then I'm going to let you go. Those were my 3 ideas for some ephemera to go in this thing. There will probably be a couple more calendar cards made and a couple more of the big bird cards made, depending on how many more pockets I have left. I don't know how many big pockets I have left. And I might use some of the pockets just to fold up a piece of paper. Relatively plain card. But for the most part, this was my idea because I wanted to stick with, again, like I said, the nature theme. And most of the little trees, I don't know if this one does actually. That one does not. But a lot of the little trees in the calendar had birds in them. So, see, I got somewhere I'm getting ink on the, maybe up on the board? I don't know. Somehow I'm getting ink on my... Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to clip the corners like so. And we're going to ink and we'll go all the way around so we get rid of the white core edge. And make sure we've got a little bit of carry over on this side. And voila. Oh, we didn't do our sticker. I say voila, like we're done. Oh, this was what I was going to use, right? Let me turn it this way. I like that better. Okay, we're going to use this one. I'm just going to ink the edges of it like I did on the other. And I'll let you go. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I am going to be putting together some more calendar journals, and one of the videos that I might do is going through and breaking down the calendars so that we can all have an idea of how I'm doing it and what my thought process is for different calendars and all that kind of stuff. If you're interested in doing this, some of these calendars we may turn into glue books. They won't necessarily all be... I hope this is still sticky enough to stick. I guess if it's not and it comes up, I'll just re-glue it. I think it's going to be okay. It still feels very tacky on my hand, so. Okay, and there you have a card with a little bit of note space, and it fits right in here, I hope, like that. Oh, that one fits really far in there. So this one might have to get a little bit of an edge put on it. But those are some of my thoughts for ephemera for these bigger pockets and for these pockets in general, and what my thoughts were as far as what kind of ephemera I want to put in this book. She's starting to get a little chunky, guys. I'm going to have to figure out a closure for this. I am thinking that one of the things you could do for these, because of the way we attach the... what do you call it? You could run a piece of material around here or a piece of lace and let it hang out to be a tie closure, and then it could be something on the back, and then you could put some sort of something on it to decorate it. Does that make sense? And maybe with our next one, we'll try that. But anyway, this is how it's coming along. I think that I'm almost done with it, and we'll have a final flip through, and I will see you guys. I think we'll work with the Apple Journal next. Maybe same idea, making some ephemera and seeing what we can come up with. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.